Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Hope you all are doing well. Today we'll start with the first lecture of this subject named Theory of Automata or Theory of Computation, and some even call it as Automata Theory. In this video we'll see what this subject is all about. Okay, so let's begin with the introduction first. Automata is one of the fundamental subjects, or you can say one of the core subjects in computer science engineering as well as in IT. The name Theory of Automata or Theory of Computation itself states what this subject is all about. As you can see, it has the word computation, which means calculations or operations that are being done on the machine. So this subject basically revolves around designing this self-propelled computing device, what we call as a machine. Okay, so what is a machine now? A machine, or an abstract machine, is just an envelope term which consists of states, transitions, and has some predetermined sequence of steps which it has to follow so that we get the desired output. Okay, leave these states and transitions for time being. You will understand it very clearly in the next videos. Okay, for time being, let's just consider this box to be a machine. Okay, we can see there are two arrows, one pointing towards the box and one emerging out from the box. This here shows that the input is being fed to the machine. The machine after that processes the input based on the steps and then gives the desired output. So what are the possible outputs that we can get? We have output like yes, no. We can have output like accepted or rejected. We can have output like valid or invalid. Or we can have any other value like 10, 20, A, B, C, etc. Okay, if you don't understand this right now, just stay connected, it will be clear very soon. Fine. As I already told you that everything here revolves around machine, so this subject is all about what sort of problems can be computed mechanically, or in simple terms you can say that with the help of this subject we can see whether a machine can be designed for a particular problem or can't, because we have many problems for which we can't design a machine. Let me explain this by means of some examples. Okay, let's take this case over here where it says that we have to design a machine which accepts all the strings that ends with A. These are the character strings. Okay, character strings that ends with A. So when we are saying that this should accept the strings ending with A, it also indicates that it should reject the strings that don't end with A. Fine. Okay, so leave the machine aside for some time now. Let's try to solve this problem from our perspective, from a human perspective. Okay, how will a human solve this problem? It's simple, right? We'll just simply look at the string. We'll just see the last character and we'll say if it is A, then we'll say the string will be accepted, and if it is not A, we'll say that the string will be rejected. Let's take an example. For example, we have a word like automata. Okay, here we'll see that the last character is A, so we can say that string will be accepted. And we just saw the last character and we said quickly that okay, it will be accepted. Now if we have an example like computation, here we see that the string ends with N, so we can simply say that string will be rejected. Okay, for humans it is quite easy, we just had to look at the string and then we said okay, this is A, so it will be accepted, it's N, so it won't be accepted, it will be rejected. Fine. So how will machine perform the same activity? First of all, we have to build the machine, and after that it will follow some steps, and based on those steps it will say whether the string will be accepted or not. Let's take these two strings again. When we feed this automata to the machine, what will it do? It will scan the characters one by one from start to end, from left to right, and then when it reaches the last character, it will store it and then match it with the condition. As the condition states that string should end with A. Fine. When the machine sees that string is ending with A, it will give an output that string accepted. Fine. Similarly, when the string like computation is given to the same machine, what will the machine do? Again, it will go from start to end, scan every character, scan the last character, and then check whether it is A or not. Here it sees that it is N and is not A, so the output given will be string rejected. So this is the way how the machine will check whether the string will be accepted or not. You can also try the same for binary strings. Okay, let's take it as case 2. Here we want to design a machine that accepts all the strings ending with 0. These are the binary strings, and we know that binary strings are made up of ones and zeros. Like 10 is a binary string, 111 is a binary string, 010 is a binary string. Now let's say we have to design a machine that accepts all the binary strings ending with 0. So if we have a string like 111010, the machine will go through various steps. It will scan all the digits from left to right, check the last digit and see if it is 0 or it is 1. In this case it is 0, so the machine will give an output. What will be the output given? That string is accepted. So these are the type of problems that can be computed mechanically. We'll see a lot of examples in our next videos, and how to design machine for it, we'll see it in the next videos. Okay, for time being you understood what type of machines can be computed mechanically. Now let's have another example where we want to see what type of machines cannot be computed mechanically. Okay, what type of problems can't be computed mechanically. Let's take an example to understand it. For example, we have we have to design a machine that accepts all the valid C program code and also will never go into an infinite loop. As you can see here, it has two parts. The first part stating that accepts all the valid C program code, and the second part states that it will never go into an infinite loop. Now let's take these two cases one by one. Okay, here this part states that this is what is a valid. Now you'll be like, what is a valid C program code? It is nothing, just a piece of code written in a proper syntax. Okay, when a program is written in a proper syntax, and after that we all might know that before a program is being executed, it is first compiled. Okay, it is first compiled and then executed. Fine. So when a code is given as an input to the machine, the machine will compile it. How will it compile it? It will translate it into a machine readable form or a machine code. Fine. After that, the machine will calculate the binary equivalent of this code. Binary equivalent will be calculated, and then based on it the machine will determine whether it is valid or it is invalid. And if it is a valid code, the machine will run the program successfully. And if in case our binary equivalent code becomes invalid, if the binary equivalent code is not equal to the actual stored value, it will show the output that the code is invalid, and the program will not run, and the output will be given like it will show some error like syntax error or something like that. Okay, so for this part we can say that fine, the machine can be made. We have to check the validity, so either it is valid or it is not valid by just checking the binary equivalent of the code. This is all this is done in a subject that you have to deal in upper semesters, like compiler design. You can check this kind of problems over there. Okay, fine. For time being you have to just see that this type of problem can be computed mechanically. Now let's take the second part. Okay, so this part states that the system should never go into an infinite loop. Fine. For the problem like this, we cannot design a machine, and even if a machine is designed somehow, but we won't be able to get the right output. See, many of us might have come across this infinite loop. For example, we have a code like for, and we just don't write the we don't mention the conditions over here and simply write printf hello. So what will happen when we'll run this program on our screen? It will show hello, 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 hello continuously up to, it will just go on repeating this print hello hello hello. It will go on repeating this, and to stop this we have to exit the whole program. So this problem can be solved by going to a code, writing it properly, writing the syntax properly, and the issue is solved. But leaving it up to the machine will make it difficult to handle. We have to cancel whole program and then start again. So we can say for this a machine cannot be created. And as I already told you, even if it is done, even if you built a machine for this, but the output that will be shown will be wrong, or it will just go on indefinitely, it will run indefinitely, and we have to stop the whole system. So this is one case where we cannot compute where the problem cannot be computed mechanically. I hope it is clear, but even if you don't understand it right now, don't worry, it will be clear in the next videos when we'll come across some more examples. So this subject, theory of automata or theory of computation, whatever you like to call it, is a very interesting subject. In the beginning, a person may feel like it is difficult, it is boring, but let me tell you one thing, it's a very easy subject. It's once you understand the concepts, it will be very easy for you. Okay, so let's move on to the classes. Like for this subject, we'll follow the general pattern, that is, we'll start from the basic level. We'll start from basic level and move on towards the advanced levels. Okay, so what are these levels? These are we have level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. First we have the basic level, and then we have little advanced, and then we have little advanced, and then more advanced, and more advancement increases with the increase in levels. The first level, when the first level is FSM, that stands for finite state machine. Then we have CFL, context free languages. Then we have Turing machines. Then we have push down automata. So when the first step is clear, then only you will be able to understand the second step, and similarly for the other steps up to step 4. So in the next video, we'll start with the basic level, that is the finite state machine or finite automata. Till then, take care of yourself. Thank you for watching. Do like and share this video so that it reaches many people, many students out there, and also press the subscribe button to remain updated. See you in the next video. Goodbye.